was watching Dove Cameron prepare for the whole piece of when she was angry and turning into the dragon. Hey, it's Megan and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about my experience working on the movie Descendants 2. But before we begin, please click that like button and please subscribe. Okay, let's do this. So I was lucky enough to be able to work on Descendants 2. In Descendants 2, I was a part of the big ending scene with all the stuff on the boat. So I worked on the movie for 5 days in total, and every day was at least 14 to 16 hours long. And it was all in a row, and it was so exhausting, but it was also such an amazing experience. The first day that we were there, they wardrobed all of us, and it took a full, I think, 12 to 14 hour day just to wardrobe all of us back around. It was basically us standing in lines waiting to figure out who's going to be wearing what dress. I had brought my own shoes, and then they gave us like necklace, earrings, some of us had tiaras. I think I might have had a tiara, I don't remember. After waiting in the longest line ever, I walked into where they were keeping all of the dresses for us, and it was just this huge wall and racks of these bright, colorful dresses. I was just like, oh my gosh, there were big poofy ones. There were ones that were more just like flowy. There were a lot of like pinks, blues, and purples, obviously. The wardrobe girls had done so many alterations on them, just adding more sparkles. So of course, with it being Disney Channel, any dress that kind of came like a sweetheart down, just like the slightest bit to like here, there's like tulle or something in it in order to cover up any kind of cleavage at all. Now, I don't have huge boobs, so it wasn't much cleavage, but they still had to put like up to here, about here, yay high, just make sure that everything was covered. And every single dress had to have sleeves of some kind. There was no strapless allowed. So even if it was just like a really thin, almost spaghetti strap sleeve, that's fine. But there was no bare shoulders allowed, which I found kind of interesting. I guess just because it's Disney, you gotta cover yourself up, ladies. They put me in about 7 different dresses until they actually decided on one. And then after all of the wardrobing, we went to hair and makeup, and hair and makeup did a full look on all of us. One of the actors that really stuck out to me as being so amazing and nice, not that any of the other actors were bad or anything like that, like they were all really nice people, but the one person that stuck out to me the most was the girl who played Uma. Yeah, China and McClain. Like, she was super cool. She was one of the only actors who really conversed with background, which actors are not expected to talk to us or anything like that. So just because some of the other actors didn't talk to us doesn't mean that they're bad people or anything. But she would go out of her way. She'd be like, hey girl, like, what's up? How are you doing? And I actually, as I was walking off set one time, she was sitting in like the director's chairs because they have like a little area for the actors to just chill out. As I was walking past, I saw her pants, and she was wearing pants from Victoria's Secret and had like a pink down the side. It was just like a pair that I hadn't seen before, and me just not thinking, I was like, oh, I like those. And she was like, thank you. She's like, come here. And she and I talked for like a little while about Victoria's Secret and pink and like how awesome it is. And I didn't really know who she was at the time, if I'm honest. She was so nice. And then she remembered me the next day, next few times when I saw her, and she's like, hey, like, she's like, did you get those pants? I want you to get those pants. Like, she was just a really nice person. So the next day is when we actually started filming everything. The set was so cool. We were filming in a studio in Vancouver, and when you walked into the studio, it was just a giant boat. There wasn't really much to it on the outside, but once you stepped on and into the boat, it felt like you were actually like on like a fancy yacht. We were all placed into different little areas. I was like the left corner on the boat. Surrounded by the boat was just a big green screen. When Uma jumps in the water and when Mal turns into a dragon and everything, all that was completely green screened. So it was just us on this boat and just nothing around us. So all of the takes that we had to do where Mal turned into a dragon and was flying around, they were telling us like where to look. And I don't know why they didn't think of doing this sooner, but they ended up having to use like a laser pointer for us to all follow with our eyes and like watch Mal go through the air. So all of her eye line was the same, and same with Uma when she jumps into the water and all the water splashes up on us. We all had to see her turn into this creature. Kenny Ortega was the most amazing director to work with ever, because his background, you don't really get to work with the directors ever really, but Kenny was so hands-on. He noticed everything in every single take, in every rehearsal. He would watch every single backgrounder and he would say, hey, you, and he'd always ask, what's your name? And then he would remember everybody's name. Like, he knew everyone's name. He knew everyone's name by the end of that shoot, which was unbelievable because there was like, I don't know, like over 100 BG. I was actually right behind Mel when she was turning into a dragon, and after we rehearsed it, Kenny was like, hey, girl in like the pink dress, and I was like, yeah, me? And he actually gave me some critique, and I was like, note taken for every audition I have for Disney ever. Thank you, Kenny Ortega. Yeah, so Kenny gave me constructive criticism and told me how to be better, and I was so excited. I was like, yes, Kenny, I will do anything for you. Kenny Ortega talked to me, and he noticed me, and like, girl, what? So for the water splashing up on everyone, it was really cold at first, but after every scene that was done where the boat was dry, they had to flood the boat for that scene where they're kicking around the water, dancing around, right? So the thing is then every time I had to go to my spot, I had to walk through that flood of water to get to where I needed to go. And at first I was like, oh, this is so funny, but then the water started just turning really warm. Like, everyone was just walking through it. To be honest, it got a little gross, and they kept it clean because, like, of course, like, everyone who was walking through it as like crew, they all had like stuff over top of their shoes so that it didn't get dirty. So like, that was nice, and they handled it very professionally, but I couldn't help but feel super grossed out because it was just this water sitting there for about 2 days, just chilling. And then towards the end, everyone was like kicking around and stuff, and it was like hitting us in the face, but like, it was fine. Like, none of us were bothered or upset by it. It was just really funny. Another cool thing about an actor was watching Dove Cameron prepare for the whole piece of when she was angry and turning into the dragon. You know, I'll be honest, even myself, it's Disney acting. It's a very hard thing to really do. Like, Disney acting is actually quite a talent, but you know, someone like Dove Cameron who does it every single day, you'd think she's just really good at it. She just kind of does whatever she needs to do. And it's Disney. A lot of people don't really take it as seriously as like a drama with like Tom Hanks or something in it. But the thing is she puts a lot of work into like every scene she does. But the one scene where she turned into the dragon, she had her iPod headphones in, she had her eyes closed, she was like pacing back and forth. I'm assuming she was listening to music or something that was making her feel like anxious and angry and like giving her those emotions, and just watching her like get into character and really feel it. And then Kenny would come over and be like, okay, like, we're gonna film in like a minute, like, are you ready? And seeing Kenny and her go back and forth, figure out what they want her to do for this moment in this Disney movie, you really don't think that they put a lot into Disney movies, but they really do. He would come over and say, okay, we're gonna do it, like, how are you feeling? Are you doing good? And she was just so in character. She'd be like, yep, or she'd say, one more minute. And right up until he said action, she had those headphones in, she like took them out, and she was just so angry and having all of these emotions that she needed to have to play it correctly for that scene, and she did an amazing job. Just wanted to like mention that because I think a lot of people just think, oh, Disney movie, like, they don't really act, they just go on there and like do their thing. But that girl put a lot of work into that role, and I feel like she deserves some recognition for that. Let me hear this song again just for you guys, because I have listened to that end song more than any of you have in your lifetime. Now listen, I have not listened to this song since I filmed it, or no, I listened to it once because I watched like the big end scene because I wanted to see myself and all my friends I had made. That song is ingrained in my head forever. So let's watch it together. Let's listen to it. Yeah, I can't listen to that. Like, I'm like, no shade to the song, but I've had enough of that song. So I think that covers a lot of my experience working on Descendants 2. If you have any questions, leave it down below in the comments. I'll either answer them there, or I will just make another video for you guys. Please, please, please click like, and please subscribe. Please subscribe, please. Bye!